Folks, welcome to Fin on TV. It's a great pleasure for me to be here tonight. I'm Coach Greb, and tonight we have a great show. We have a guest in the house today, and we're going to talk about one of the most important topics in your life. It's called retirement. There's a lot of misconception about retirement. A lot of people are working hard, but never able to save a penny for retirement. And today, in the studio, we have invited an expert who will teach you how you can save. Today, we're going to talk about retirement, and we have here Miss Timassi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Coach Greb. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
It's been a while since we spoke.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm happy to receive you here today. And we're going to talk about retirement, right?
Yes.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Well, folks, as I explained to you earlier, we're going to talk about retirement today. And retirement is a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah. Retirement is a very broad aspect. So basically, when we talk about retirement, we talk about planning for retirement, how you plan, how you invest, what are the expected outcomes, at what age do you want to go on retirement, and all those put it into consideration, right? So, but today, today I want us to talk about the mistakes that people do when they're planning for retirement. Absolutely. People don't even account for these things when they're planning for retirement, right? Absolutely. So most of the times in our communities, right, people don't, it's a lot of procrastination. You don't know when to start, right? A lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm going to start when I get my dream job, right? I'll wait until I start earning 6 figures. That's when I'll be comfortable and be able to start saving, right? But and then there is a lot of misinformation, right?
A lot of misinformation.
Misinformation, right?
So basically, you are an expert in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for a lot of the audience who don't know you, probably you want to introduce yourself and explain what you do, and so that we really want to know, because we all are eager to hear what you're going to say. So can you please quickly introduce yourself in a few words?
Oh, yeah, sure. Like Coach Greb said, my name is Miss Timassi. I am a licensed financial professional, licensed in 49 states here in the U.S. I help people plan for their retirement, set up the kids' college funds, emergency funds, debt management, and life insurance as well. We want to make sure you have all those set up in the right way, right?
You talk about the 5 big ones, right?
5 pillars of financial stability.
The 5 big ones, what are they again?
Retirement. College funds.
College fund.
Yep. Debt management.
Yeah. Oh, that one is a big one.
Oh, yes.
That's a big one.
Yes.
And what else you have?
Emergency funds.
Emergency fund.
Yes, setting up your emergency funds. And lastly, life insurance.
You mean rainy days money?
Yes.
That's how my grandma calls it. Rainy day money. Where you put that money, right? In a cookie jar somewhere, right? So
somewhere in a piggy bank.
So you folks, you heard it. You need to have this 4. I want to say this before we move on, because I want people to get this. 5 big ones.
Yes.
You need to have what?
Retirement.
Count with me.
Retirement.
What else?
College funds.
College fund.
Debt management.
Debt money. You don't want to be in debt.
No. Emergency funds.
Emergency fund for the rainy days.
And life insurance.
And life insurance in case you were, called and you leave people behind, right?
Yes.
Okay, so talking about retirement, as you said, there's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people, especially as you said in our community, when I say our community, meaning the what? The black
immigrant
community. It's not something we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
What causes that?
There's a lot to catch up, right? When we immigrate to America, by the time we come here, we're starting from scratch, right? You have to go to school, you have to hustle, get the money, go to school, then after going to school, hustle, get a job, then start working and then start saving, right? But what tends to happen is that by the time you come here and do all that, you're already behind.
Time
keeps going, right? Time keeps going. So you're already starting to play catch up compared to an average American. And remember, you're first generation, so you're starting to have kids as
Absolutely.
well, right? So expenses keeps adding and adding, and before you know it, you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait till I start my dream job. Maybe an average African who immigrate here will expect to start earning a decent income by the time they turn, what, 35?
35,
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes it's even way higher than that.
Absolutely.
That's just an average estimate. But with that, compared to an average American who started working after college when they turned 23, you're already way behind in savings.
Absolutely.
Right?
Now,
So that's the problem.
Is it a year? Is it a specific time? What's it? Is it a right age or the right time to start saving for retirement, or?
So basically, what I tell my clients is that there is no right time. The right time is like yesterday, right? The minute you get your first job,
yes,
make sure you put aside. It doesn't matter how little it is. Make sure you start putting that aside for retirement, because time doesn't wait. It doesn't wait for you. And the longer you keep waiting, the longer you keep procrastinating. Oh, I'm going to wait until I start my dream job, or I'm going to wait until I turn whatever. The more you'll have to save monthly in order to catch up.
And I have a quick case that I want to talk about here. You see, there are these two guys, right? There's Paul and Peter. Now, Paul started working at age 25, and he starts saving right away. By age 35, he stops saving. There's another guy, right, Peter, who waits till age 34 and starts saving, but saves until the end of his life, work life, which is still age 65. Who is going to have the most money?
Now, the first guy, right?
Why?
Paul's going to have the first, because he was saving a lot from age 25. Once you leave that money compounding over time.
Folks, I just want to mention this, that they are actually saving the same amount of money at the same rate. So how come the one who save more makes less money at retirement than the one only saved for 10 years? The other guy saved almost like 30 years, and the first one saved only for 10 years. How do you explain that?
Yeah. That is the effect of compound interest, right? Compound interest, you see the effect over a prolonged period of time. So with time, that's when you're going to see the yield. As opposed to if you're saving, if you leave it till late, that's what I say, the right time to start is yesterday. Because the longer you wait, the less you're going to have.
Can you unpack that for us? So what is a compounding effect? What does it mean? Like if I save, let's say, $100, or let's say $1,000 a month or a year. What does it mean?
So the simple way to explain compound interest is think of your credit card. Okay. Right? When they give you a $2,000 credit card and says 23% interest, right? Oftentimes you end up paying what? $4,000, $5,000, right? Why? Because that interest keeps on compounding daily, right? Same thing, car loan. Once they say you're refinancing, it goes from what? Even if the car was $10,000, goes all the way to $16,000, $17,000. Absolutely. Right? So think of it that way.
They charge you daily interest.
The interest keeps compounding on daily, and the longer you keep when you keep on paying the minimum payments, the interest keeps compounding, and that's where you see the effect.
So in actuality, in a simple term, say you save $1,000 a year. You're saving $1,000 a year at a rate of 5%. So this year, the money, next year, at the end of the year, your $1,000 will have become what? $1,000, $1,050, right? The year after, the 5% will now be applied to what?
To the 1,000.
To the 1,000. So that's how your money starts snowballing to grow. So the first person give a longer time to his money to grow, while the other person had a short time. So that's basically what it is?
Yes, correct. Right? Yeah, so time is of the essence when it comes to compound interest. You have to account for time. Absolutely. So another thing that I'd really like to talk about is inflation. Okay. Right. A lot of times that's another mistake people do when they're planning for retirement. They don't account for inflation. Inflation is how money loses its value over time. So you think current inflation rate is about what?
About 5%.
5% right now. We're getting 5% right now. And if your money is in anywhere that you're getting less than 5%, means you're losing that money, right?
So no, wait a minute, because there's a problem here. You know, a lot of folks think that keeping money in the bank is a kind of a saving. I mean, it's a kind of investment. What can you say to that? And how dangerous is it to keep your money in the bank?
So, putting your money in the bank, really, it's what can I say? How can I put it? How much interest is the bank going to give you?
0.03%.
Exactly. And what is the inflation? It's currently 5%. Meaning that if you had $10,000 in there and somebody's giving you 0.00, next year that $10,000 has lost its value by 5%. So there is no point, no whatsoever, to put money in the bank. In fact, the rich people don't even put money in the bank.
Now, basically, the bank should be a transitional coffer, right? Where you get the money, and that could only transit through that, right?
Yes.
But if we have created an automatic system whereby your money goes from one place to the investment vehicle, then it doesn't have to transit through the bank, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Because, and I say that all the time to folks, keeping your money in a bank is lending your money to the bank to profit from it and slap you with a 0.03% for being stupid, right?
That is true.
Because guess what? As you said, the loaf of bread that costs $1 today won't be the same next year.
No.
Right?
No. That is true. Yeah. So the bank is pretty much the worst place to save for your retirement, right? You want to make sure that your money is in a portfolio where it accounts for inflation.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Another problem in our community is people tend to use plans that are outdated, right?
What does it mean outdated?
And by outdated, I mean that a lot of these tax-deferred plans became really popular during the Reagan tax era, right? Where there were a lot of tax cuts during that time when Ronald Reagan was a president, right? So it did kind of make sense for somebody to serve in a tax-deferred account. Absolutely. Because you know that by the time you are retiring, you're going to end up in a lower tax bracket. So it kind of like made sense for you to save in a tax-deferred account. But looking at how the trend is right now, that is not the case anymore.
So what are you saying? Okay, so let's take an example. Someone who is actually saving in a Roth IRA as opposed to somebody who's saving in a traditional IRA.
Exactly.
So can you explain that a little bit? Because a lot of people don't get this. First of all, what's an IRA anyway?
IRA is individual retirement account. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
A Roth IRA means the money is taxed, then it goes to a Roth IRA. So later you don't have to pay tax again.
And how much can I put in there?
But that is the catch. There is a catch. In the Roth IRA, you can only save $6,000.
$6,000?
Only. So meaning if you're saving for retirement, what is $6,000 if you expect to live 30 years after you retire?
So basically, even if I make $100,000, $600,000, whatever.
First of all, there's a cap.
There's a cap. So I can even save.
You can even save if you make so much in a Roth IRA. They won't let you put money in the Roth IRA.
But how about if I'm about 50 years and old? I think there's a catch, right? There's a catch up, right?
There's a catch up, which is $500.
Is it $500? Okay. So basically, if you give you that amount, it's very little, right?
It's very little.
It's very little. So basically, there's nothing, you can't control it.
Yeah, you can't. And that's another thing I tell people, that you need to know what's out there.
Okay.
So you need to make sure that you have all the information and make sure you're saving in the right vehicle.
Okay.
Because a lot of times in our community, and by our community I mean our Black immigrant community, information is passed through oral tradition, right?
Absolutely.
You come to America, you meet your uncle, your aunt who's been here, or maybe your friend, and they're like, wait until you get your dream job, then you're gonna have these employee contribution plans and all that, and you just go with that.
Absolutely.
But you don't know exactly how it works, and maybe that's not a good fit for you.
Now, this is not like a monkey see, monkey do. Like what you see other people do, I call that a bandwagon behavior. Like this is what everybody's doing, you do it, and nothing else, right? Mm-hmm. But the problem is that if you do what other people do, you're going to end up like them.
Exactly.
If you do what they do and they're failing, you're going to end up failing like them.
Exactly.
So what are the alternatives?
Because I always tell my clients that you have to make sure that you're picking something that is right for you,
Yes,
not
absolutely.
what was right for your uncle or your friend, right? The writing is already on the wall. You go to these, if you go to a grocery store, you go to a dealership, you're always going to find somebody who is like over 70 or over 75 still working.
I've seen a lot of that.
Right? And why is that? If you try and talk to them, I've talked to a few of them actually.
Yes.
Those people weren't lazy. They were not lazy. It's just that they didn't plan properly.
So basically, here's another issue here. People think as long as I work hard, and I hear a lot of that, work hard, work hard. Well, working hard is not really, what it is, right?
No, it's
working
not.
smart. So a lot of people focus on the earning side, work hard to earn a lot of money, and what?
Exactly. So you have to work hard and work smart as well.
Okay.
Right? Make sure that you're investing in the right vehicles. Right? Okay. It's not about how much you make, rather how much you invest and where you invest it. Right? If you're putting in the wrong place in variables account, you're going to lose it. Right? It will go up and down. You put it in stocks, you don't know what you're doing. You just hear somebody saying, "Oh,
but the problem is kind of expensive to have an advisor, isn't it?"
Not really. No. So, like for instance, I provide my services for free. So you come to us, our services are free. We'll provide you with the education. Make sure that you understand what's out there.
Absolutely.
And pick what's right for you.
Okay.
Right? So, the myth, the misconception that an advisor costs money, no, that is not true. Not everybody charges.
In fact, self-medication is more costly than having to even pay an advisor, right?
Exactly, because I always tell people that if you're sick, you don't go about on Google and try to Google your symptoms. You just go to the doctor and let them diagnose you, right? So same thing with your finances. Don't go out there and Google, because the problem with Googling is you don't know the alternative, because you don't even know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to know what you're missing. You think that, oh, I have the best deal, but no, you don't. Maybe there's something better out there.
Now, here's another issue that I really, that's dear to my heart. Well, some people do try to save money. Are they saving enough?
Well, that's a good
Are they
question.
saving enough to cover their retirement? Because we've changed. There's something else called longevity. So can you what is that? Longevity?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and that's a really good point. Are you saving enough? That's another mistake that people do when planning for retirement, because you don't account for the fact that you might live longer than you expect, right? With the current life expectancy rate, it's expected that we're going to live at least 30 years from the time we retire, right? So you have to be able to account for that and make sure that you incorporate that. So wherever you're saving, you have to make sure that, okay, I know my goal is to go on retirement, say by maybe 62, 65, but I have to account to live at least 100.
Now,
right?
based on my last data that I researched on what do you call that? The Census Bureau, people are really retiring at 66 these days, even though we thought it was like 62. So there's there's a longer what do you call that, retirement span. But now the key thing is that people do outlive their retirement. Retirement is not, if it's not properly funded, then you're going to outlive it.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen?
Exactly, and there's a lot of things that come up along the way. Example, healthcare.
Yes.
Right? People don't account for that when planning for retirement, because there's a healthcare costs are rising.
Absolutely.
Right? And when you go on retirement, remember, you're going to be on fixed income. So there's a rise in healthcare costs. And as we all know, people on the older age
Yes.
tend to be on a lot more medication, tend
Absolutely.
to need to see a doctor more often than a regular person, than people on a younger age. So you need to account for all that. That if you're going to live even longer, that means that the healthcare cost is going to be even longer.
But don't people plan for that? We through long-term care, like buy the policy. Because let me tell you, I have my grandmother. She was an intern in one of those old elder cares, and she had to pay $6,000 per month. $6,000 per month.
And that's another problem. You don't. When I say you don't account for that, you're gonna live longer, and the healthcare cost. People don't even. If you tell somebody, I'm telling you, in our Black immigrant community, you tell somebody that you might end up in a long-term care. They're like, "Where are my kids?"
That's
I
right.
mean, you just say we're here physically, but
Absolutely.
mentally we still think the
A lot of
African
people
way.
here physically, but they're not here.
Yeah, mentally we still think the African way that, my kids are going to take care of me. But that's not necessarily true.
Absolutely.
America is so big, your kids might be in where? You're in Georgia, your kids might be in Washington.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is a very, very serious issue. But talking about retirement, I want you to address this issue of those people who are self-employed and who believe, I have money coming in, so my business will support me, and they think that they have no way for them to save money, and especially I see them among women entrepreneurs who have a cash-intensive business, but who don't really have any type of a retirement or investment, any form of future plan, and like a long-term plan. I mean, so how do we deal with this?
That's a really good question, and it's easier to confuse between being self-employed and a business owner.
Okay.
If you look at Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, right, it explains very good about the difference in the 4 ways that we can earn income, right? Either through employment, or then you're self-employed, a business owner, or an investor, right? When you're self-employed, it's no different from being employed. It's just that you work for yourself.
Absolutely.
If you don't go to work, no income comes in. So you're at even a danger, if I have to put it, a danger zone, because you're the only source of income.
Absolutely.
Right? So you need to even be saving more, because anything happens to you, that income is going to stop.
Absolutely.
Right? So you need to be protected. You need to make sure that you're saving. You need to make sure that you're accounting for inflation. You need to make sure that you're seeing a professional to manage, to make sure they help you where to put your money.
But the question is, are there any plan? Like, you see, when you work for people, we talk about the 401k plan, the IRA plan, all kind of stuff. But do you think they're playing for people who don't actually, who work for themselves? What are some of the plans that are available? Maybe they don't know.
That's a very good question. There's a lot of financial miseducation in our communities, right? We only think that retirement plans are available for people who are employed, right? When somebody thinks of retirement, the only thing they think of is maybe tax-deferred account and
401k,
401k, IRAs, Roth IRAs, or 457, 403b. All those that works the same. TSP, they work the same. So that's the only thing somebody think of, right, when you say the word retirement.
Absolutely.
But that's not true. There's a lot of other vehicles out there that will help you save for retirement, especially when you're self-employed.
Absolutely.
Right? So even though the other misconception is that people think that, I just need one account. No, you could have as multiple accounts as possible.
Especially when those accounts are limited, where if you're making, let's say, $200,000 and you cannot invest all that money in an IRA, and there is a 401k, or maybe if you're a self-employed, we have the simple plan, the SEP plan, or the SEP plan, we call it. So you have to really put money here and there, right? Is that?
Yes, that is true, but also you need to know how the accounts works.
You see?
So before you go and put money in any of these accounts, make sure you see somebody who is going to help you understand how they work.
So
right?
it comes back to what?
To literacy, financial literacy.
And
that
getting help.
And getting help, yes.
Getting help. Folks, you heard it. You see, sometimes you're trying to save money, right? Some of you, if you had started early in your life, work life, and you have sought, let's say, support from a professional, maybe by today you wouldn't even have to deal with anything, right? Because you would have saved so much money and in a right vehicle. You see, the rich people, that's the difference between the poor and the rich. Rich people are surrounded by professionals, advisors. Poor people want to swim by themselves in the water. And what happens?
You're going to drown.
He drowns.
Yeah, you're going to drown.
He drowns.
Yeah. But see, and then the thing is, we're scared to ask.
Absolutely.
Another problem that I've seen in our immigrant community is that, when we come here, there's a lot of things that we have to overcome. There's a lot of challenges. The language, the lingo, yeah. Not that you don't know English, but there's a lot of new vocabularies going around. No, it's true. I mean, there's a lot of new vocabulary that is going around. And when you have accent, you go and try and ask somebody, what can I get? Where is paracetamol? And they're like, what is that?
Yes.
No, we don't have that. And with your accent, you're like, okay, you feel stupid.
Yes.
But so it kind of like puts you down, puts your spirit down. You stop asking these questions.
Absolutely.
So you be like, you know what? I'm gonna try and figure it out by myself, and that's a problem.
But now I see another problem. Okay, actually there are two problems that I see here. Okay, when immigrants come here, they, as we said earlier, they don't seek to integrate the system totally. So they are gravitate toward in their circle where they do just what other people do, but when you live this community, not that you live the community, but you branch out to other community, you see what people do. For example, in the Indian community, right? You see people buying land, all these things. What are they doing? How are they doing these things, right? When I look around, drive around, I see different community, different groups. But the only people I don't see are my folks. I don't see them anywhere. I don't see any shopping center that we own. And yet we make the same amount of money. We get the same type of education. What I've seen is that a lot of people are in America and they're just thinking about the day they're going to return. So they say they're investing money, sending money back home. Can you address that problem? Because to me, when I looked at it, from the Congo to any place, it's the same problem. You invest back home, but that money, you're just throwing it away. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it comes down to financial literacy, honestly, because the reason why people invest back home is that they feel like they know the system. They know how it works, right? But in America, they're kind of like, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I ask? Everywhere I go is somebody trying to say, what did you say? What did you say? Like, they don't understand your accent. See, so that kind of puts people off. But I always tell people that there's nothing wrong in investing back in Africa, as long as you know that there will be, in the event that you're not there, your family will be able to access your investments easily, right? And but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's higher returns in Africa. Actually, you could invest here in America and get way more returns.
But there's a catch to that. When you look at what they invest in, it's one vehicle. It's just real estate. And so people think, you see, people who are not really financial literate, they think real estate is the only place to invest because that's what they're taught. So that's the only thing they want to invest in. And back home, for them, it's a way of solidifying the financial back, which is not bad at all.
No, not bad.
But the problem is, they must know that there are other vehicles
available.
You have to have a balanced portfolio, or I would say a diversified portfolio, which includes stocks, bonds, which includes real estate, which includes even a business interest. Even if you don't have your own business, you can also invest in somebody's business as a silent partner or whichever you want to do. So you see, the thing is, it's not always and only in a real estate. Because real estate is a cash intensive. You need a lot of money to buy land, to build on that. Why you could have already started investing here and use that money, you leverage that money to go and invest, right?
Yeah, that is correct. That is absolutely correct. That the reason why everybody goes into real estate is because they feel like, okay, if I buy land now, it's a simple, easy concept. That if I buy land now, it's going to be worth 10 times in the next 2 years.
Which is smart.
Which is smart. But there are other ways too that you also multiply your income without having to move money from here to Africa.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, there's also fear that if I keep too much money in my bank, in my account, well, the government will talk about it. So the government will probably ask me questions. Is that why you keep that money in a savings account?
No. Savings account is actually the worst place to put your money because they're going to tax you that money anyway.
Absolutely.
So that is the wrong way to keep. Unless you want to pay more taxes.
Absolutely.
You don't want to put your money in the bank. But you want to go to a professional and see what your options are. Do I have a way of putting my money, of saving my money that is tax-free, and also it will generate interest?
Absolutely.
Compounding interest, right? And that's where a professional comes in. Because if you don't know these things, I don't know if you're going to be comfortable just getting information online and putting your 20, 50,000 in there.
Yes, absolutely.
That's kind of like I would think that that's the wrong move.
Absolutely.
To go about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. We can sell, I mean, retirement, savings. These are things that we need to educate the people about. And that's what we do here at the Financial Power Institute, which is a sister company with of Finan TV. What we do is we educate people about money. We tell them, we teach them the right way. And that's also what you do. So how can people contact you? How do people contact you to actually learn about how they can, do investing or saving the right way?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave Coach Greb with my contacts, and for the better of everyone.
But can you give them the phone number at least?
Yeah, sure. So my phone number is 641-799-1664.
Can you say it one more time? Because I don't want people to forget it.
It is 641
yes.
799 1664.
1664.
Yes. And you could call me. We could schedule an appointment.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be a physical appointment. We could do a virtual appointment, and we could go over your finances. We sit down, we talk, and we determine what is best fit for you. Like I was telling Coach Greb, there is no one size fits all.
Absolutely.
Right? Everywhere is at a different place. Everyone is at a different place financially. So you want to make sure that you go with what fits for you.
Absolutely.
While aspiring to even more. In order for you to meet your goals, right?
So you're gonna come back here, right? We're gonna talk about more stuff.
Oh yes, definitely.
This is gonna change the people. Today we talk about retirement, and we're gonna go in depth. Today we just opened, the lid, but we're gonna go more in detail as to how to invest, what to invest in, all those things, and also talk about the different the different aspects. Remember, we talk about what? We talk about five big ones, right? Which are what? I want you to repeat. I like that. The 5 pillars of wealth, right?
The pillars of financial stability. That we have
5 pillars of what?
Financial stability.
Okay, what are they again?
Retirement. College funds. Emergency funds. Life insurance. And
life insurance, and we talk about something else, right? I can't remember that. Yes, but so basically, folks, what I can tell you here is that Finan TV is a channel that was designed for you, to teach you, to educate you, to empower you, so that you can build wealth from scratch. We do our part. This channel will do a part. We will invite guests like Miss Massa to come and talk about things that you can do, things that you don't know about. And again, next week, we'll be here again in this studio talking about money. We're still going to continue to talk about retirement, the strategies to talk of financial planning. Yeah.
And the 5 pillars of
financial. And the 5 pillars
that are. You said retirement, college fund, emergency funds, life insurance, and the big one, debt management.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The debt management. Folks, it's been a great pleasure for me to be here with you guys, but also it's been a great pleasure to have you, Miss Massa, here. I'm expecting you to be back soon.
Yes,
because our folks need to hear about these things. We need to educate our folks, and we can only do our part. Are you going to do your part to follow this channel? If you like this channel, I want you now to go to Finan TV live on Facebook or on YouTube. Follow us every week. We will bring more people here on this show here on the Coach Greb Live to talk about money, because our goal is for you to build wealth from scratch. Folks, it's been a pleasure for me to really welcome you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you very much for following Finan TV Live on here at Finan TV Radio. Thank you.
Oh,
TV Radio.
God.
That was good.
You think?
Yeah.